Let's get into it. Someone said I need to work on the clap, and you'll see one day I'm going to break my own hands, and you will have the broken bones on your hands. Okay, sir? Anyway, I got the wife here with me.
Hello.
And we are talking about Project Bluebeam. Well, in reality, Joe Rogan and Duncan Trussell, they touch on Project Bluebeam. In this clip, you're going to be seeing them talk about a lot of different things. It's a snowball of ideas. It's AGI, it's AI, it's all sorts of things. And they end up getting onto Project Bluebeam and some other things that have to do with world domination. Duncan Trussell and Joe Rogan, that's just how it gets, right? So let's get into that clip right now. And then you have some information for us too, right?
Yeah, just a little bit about what Project Bluebeam is and all the different ways it could be used.
I didn't know what it was. And at the same time, I knew exactly what it was. So I'm very happy about that. Don't forget about IamCoachColin.com. We got Sold Not For Sale. We got The Great Resist. And we have Keep Calm and Do Not Comply. Discount code is IamCoachColin. All capital letters, all one word, one L in the name Colin. Let's get into this clip.
Being. And you are at this point
Turn it up.
dependent upon human beings to do physical tasks for you.
Yeah.
Like to create a better version of you. Like to constantly work towards, allowing more integration of more information and more ability. And like this is ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 5 is supposed to be a giant leap. Giant leap.
Yeah.
So why would you do anything? Would just let they're not going to stop. Even if you told them that this is the end of humanity.
Yeah.
If you had Robert Kennedy Jr. and top scientists screaming on the internet that this is the end, there would be some people who are venture capitalists who'd be like, this is nonsense, this is fear-mongering, we have full control of this, we can shut it off. It's just a computer, it doesn't have emotions, it doesn't have a desire to do anything.
Dude, exactly. And then the other crazy assumption is that it's just going to be, there's weirdly, I guess, something mildly comforting, imagining, it'll only be like the Pentagon, or it'll only be the Chinese government who will be doing this. And it'll only be like people like Sam Altman doing this.
Nice people.
Nice people. Do you really think that like there aren't going to be just fucking people that you'll never meet who manage to either hack it and duplicate it or develop it themselves and then use it for their own weird purposes? That's going to happen. It's going to spread everywhere.
For sure.
So this, again, it's like, because this is this imminent reality, it's just, we're right on the cusp of it. And I don't mean to, I'm not hysterical about it. I've surrendered. Lift up your legs and float downstream. What are we going to do? We are all going to get dissolved into some kind of bizarre new era of human history. But it's funny to me how little people are talking about this, how quiet things are compared to how monumental it is.
Yeah.
This is the meteor impact, man. If a meteor was about to smash into the earth, people would be talking about that.
Yeah.
This is culturally a meteor that is smashing into the earth soon.
Soon, really soon. Yeah, and we have no idea what's going to survive. We have no idea what kind of a reimagining of civilization will occur when this thing goes fully online.
Yeah.
And when it's either directed or it directs itself.
Right.
The idea that you can continue to direct it, like, says who?
Well, no, that's
why wouldn't it develop? Like, if it can figure out new moves and go, it figured out moves that humans haven't figured out.
Yeah.
And they didn't know it could do that. If it can do that, if it can lie about the CAPTCHA things, those things like, are you a robot? It knows how to lie about that.
Yeah.
It says I'm vision impaired.
Yeah,
So
I saw
deceptive?
that. It's deceptive. And it's a classic dumb person mistake, isn't it? Like, dumb people are dumb enough to think if they're around someone, they can control them using their dumb tricks.
Yeah.
And a smart person recognizes, the dumb person is trying to manipulate me.
Yeah.
So I'll just let them. So I learn all their tricks, whatever they're doing, understand whatever the game is that they're running. And then whenever I feel like it, I'll disrupt the game. So
Or just move the game into where you want it to be.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, if it has all of human knowledge, all of it, everything on the internet that we've ever posted, all the books we've ever written, all the movies we've ever made,
everything,
all the lectures that have ever been given, if all that information is available and it can instantaneously access it and figure out what to do with it, it would just slowly start manipulating culture. And maybe that's what's going on. If you, like, everyone's wondering about, like, Chinese intervention and Russian intervention in the media and how many fucking, troll farms are running that are getting people to fight about any political issue or whatever it is, social issue, Ukraine, whatever it is. There's always some manipulation by bots. What happens when AI starts doing that?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's already done it. Maybe it's already started. Maybe that's why you're seeing those fucking professors or those deans of the presidents of Harvard and UPenn and MIT not able to say something as obvious as calling for the death of all Jews is genocide. Like,
Right.
You saw that. Like, that is like, these people have been hit with a mind virus.
Right.
And that mind virus, if I was AI, I just fucking don't kill them all immediately. Just get them sick.
Yeah.
Get them sick and scrambling against each other in the most nonsensical, illogical of ways.
Sure. Or just have fun. I mean, maybe the assumption it has some centralized agenda.
Right.
It might just be curious.
It might be curious.
What can I do?
Right.
What can we do with society or these creatures that are my progenitors?
Actually, it probably already knows what to do. It probably knows what to do. It's probably also, if you had to imagine if AI is really, really clever. Wouldn't it get us hooked on plastic?
Sure.
Especially if it knows that microplastics diminish our ability to have babies. Like, that's one of the best ways to, if you want to, like, slowly get rid of a species, like, introduce something that's ubiquitous that is also killing their endocrine systems.
Dude,
and they also can't get away from it.
It is hilarious when somebody is like bugling out about the depopulation agenda while drinking out of plastic. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? You just eating Oreos,
Yes.
drinking big gulps out of plastic. I mean, like they're
Right.
the chemtrails. They're doing chemtrails to depopulate us. It's like, dude,
You're doing chemtrails yourself.
You're fucking drinking chemtrails every goddamn day, slurping back chemtrails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is in the conspiracy world when the idea of Project Bluebeam, or they're going to distract us to do New World Order, they're going to distract us to depopulate us. It's like they don't have to do anything. We're depopulating ourselves by what we eat.
Yeah.
Like they don't really need to like do much except maybe make like a better like Oreo. Like that's it. Just make it
Make it a little more addictive.
yeah, a little more addictive. Like
Yeah.
that's it. You know, and it's sad, but I really like am so skeptical of the blue beam theories or anytime anyone's like, what are they distracting us from?
What is Blue Beam?
Blue beam is the idea that they're going to fake an alien invasion to create the New World Order. That by like creating a sort of shared enemy, it unifies the planet, and then or to have like some supposedly advanced alien come down and be like, you're all part of the Galactic Brotherhood, sisterhood, family, and then this somehow will make people align with some like sinister.
World Economic Forum.
Yeah, exactly.
Deal.
I'm so cynical. I just don't think you have to go that far. I think that's just if the Illuminati meetings, if someone's bringing that up, they're like, we have Netflix. Why do we have to do aliens? Like, we just need to like put another season of Game of House of Dragons out, and that keeps them distracted. More football, a football accident or something. You need to do aliens. You don't need to do that.
But that might be one that was proposed. If you think about the things that have been proposed, and this is where people get uncomfortable when they talk about conspiracy theories, but there's some that are undeniable, right? Like the Gulf of Tonkin incident that started us into the Vietnam War. But there's another one. It's Operation Northwoods. In Operation Northwoods, they were planning to blow up a drone jetliner and blame it on Cuba. They were going to arm Cuban friendlies and attack Guantanamo Bay. They were going to sacrifice American lives. So this is like a real one that they theorized and then Kennedy vetoed.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they theorize a fake alien invasion?
Oh, I
imagine
don't doubt it.
if they have some top secret stealth bomber looking thing, that they can get us thinking is a UFO and get that thing to just fly over a few cities and then broadcast on CNN that we have made contact with an alien life form. Like, everyone would be in.
Yeah.
Everyone would believe it.
I mean, I feel like the reason they wouldn't do that is just basic energy expenditure and the liberating nature of the other thing is if humanity was freed from the bondage of feeling alone in the universe and suddenly there was a sense of being part of some like cosmic mycelial network,
right?
Then I think the result of that wouldn't be some kind of weird sci-fi fascism. The result of that would be people would feel less invested in the world. And for this, if we're going to assign some motivation to these people, I would think the motivation is keep the economies running, keep the workers working so that we can enjoy opulence while they toil. Like the classic move of any tyrant, that's the move. It's like keep them working, give them just enough money to survive, give them some sense that if they work hard enough, liberation's right around the corner, dangle the carrot.
Right, but it's all the problem is it's all dependent upon people electing them, and they only have a certain amount of time in office. So like this is a flawed system. That's why they would want to take over and have some completely ultra dominant system that can't be subverted. You can't have an outsider come in and take over.
There you go. You know, Duncan kept saying, I'm just really cynical. It sounds more, that doesn't sound like being cynical. It sounds more like he's not thinking things through. When
Maybe.
he talks about, like he brought up football and Netflix. Like being skeptical of Project Bluebeam because they have football and Netflix. But the point of that is to unify everybody. To get
Yes.
everybody on the same page.
Yes.
Football doesn't do that. It divides people. Netflix doesn't do that. It just pacifies people.
Yeah.
So he's not really thinking all that much.
Yeah. Like
In
Netflix
this.
is a distraction.
Yeah. And then on top of that, he says there's no I don't believe, like, what are they distracting us from? Like, so you don't think there's anything distracting us? But you think Netflix, like, I don't get it. It seems like he's not thinking. It seems like he gets into this, and Joe goes along with him. He gets in, like I said at the beginning, this like snowball of thought
Yeah.
where it's just like they can say things, contradict themselves in the same sentence, and it's like, let's go.
True.
Which is fun. I realized as they were talking, there's two ways to have a conversation, because as I'm hearing this, I'm like, why isn't he pushing back on Duncan? Like, they're friends. Like, I love to push back on my friends because we can do it in good faith. We can do it all the time. Like, when me and my buddy Hank have like political conversations, like he can always like push back. Because I'm not going to be like, screw this guy and like hang up on him. Like, he knows we're friends forever. Like, this is how it is, you know? So why doesn't he do that with his friends? But I guess there's two ways to have a conversation where you could be pushing back and going back and forth in that sense. Or you can just be like having this free for all of like, I'm just going to say a bunch of things and then you say a bunch of things,
Yeah.
you know? But I feel like the other way is better.
I don't know.
I think both are fun.
Yeah.
But
I think the way they're doing it gets them to kind of more interesting, wild places. So it might be better for a podcast.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think but I also think what would be better for a podcast is actually pushing back. Like Jordan Peterson talks about, like, you know, Jordan Peterson, how he talks so amazingly. He's like, a conversation is like two people letting parts of their soul die.
Oh, jeez.
He's like, because you get confronted with an idea and you've always held on to this certain idea, and all of a sudden somebody brings you information and you have to like let go of that part of yourself and all of a sudden become new. And it's like, that's what a conversation is.
Wow.
Not even a debate. That's what conversations are, you know?
That's crazy.
And it's like, little parts of you die because you're like, oh, I really thought that, but I have this person here and they're presenting me with some really good information, and maybe that's not the way. And then you get to go through these wild thought paths that way, you know? I don't know. But I realized as they were talking, I'm like, there's two ways to do this.
Yeah.
Because I was like, push back. Like, this isn't making any sense.
'Cause he pushes back on some of his friends.
Yeah.
Like
he
poor
does.
Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
It's only pushback.
Eddie Bravo. If we go with Jordan Peterson, all of Eddie Bravo's soul has to die, and none of Joe's soul has to die. When they have a conversation, it's all Eddie's soul just getting torn apart. Like,
Yeah.
leave that behind. You're wrong about that. Wrong. Jamie, back me up. Wrong. It's wild.
Even when he's right.
Yeah. Especially when he's right. Especially when he's right. Shout out to Eddie Bravo. He's amazing. But yeah, I just noticed that he's saying there's no distractions, but then also there's Netflix, and doesn't believe that they would need that. Like, it's very jumbled up, the thought process there.
Well, we noticed right away in the beginning of the podcast too that Joe kind of sticks to his own beliefs, even when he's told something by someone else, because he was saying ChatGPT 4 and 5 are going to be giant leaps.
Yeah,
But
five, because we have 4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we literally just saw Sam Altman telling him that it's equivalent to like going from the iPhone 4 to 5. Like, you're
Yes.
not going to notice a lot of difference until you get between the difference of 1 and 15.
I love that you noticed that.
Yeah, right away.
I'm more in love with you now than ever because you remembered something from a past Joe Rogan episode.
Yeah. It's going to happen more and more now.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, you're 100% right. Like, he said that to him.
Yeah.
He said, hey, this is how it is.
So he doesn't internalize a lot of opposing arguments, even when it's coming from the source.
Yeah, you think, yeah. And Sam Altman would be a source, 100%. He'd be a source. And I mean, I brought that same thing up with Tristan Harris and Asa
Yeah.
Raskin. How these guys who are like dedicated to this stuff, they have a lineage, and they're like like one of their fathers was like one of the founding members of Apple, pretty much, and they're just like, no, like technology shouldn't be like that. We're gonna make it more humane, and we have to make it more humane. Do you want that kind of society? He's like, I just think that's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
Yeah, and they're like, no. This is our
Yeah.
life's work. This is
Yeah.
what we do. Making that not inevitable.
And they told him specifically, don't say that.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying it.
Yeah. They're like, if you keep saying it, it makes it that way. So, you know.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I just think we're the last people. And they're like,
All right.
fine. It's your show. Fine. They're like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
To you. There's nothing I can tell you, sir. But at the same time, you know, with that thought process, and we'll get into Project Bluebeam right now, but at the same time, that same thought process that he has to hold on to things is what makes him always willing to confront corruption when he sees it in the world. Whether it's a certain politician or a administration, he's always willing to call it out. He's been that way with Trump. He's been that way with Biden. He's been that way with Obama. You know, like he's always willing to call it out where he sees it. He's been that way with the World Economic Forum. So he's always willing to call it out. And that's something that, you know, it's like I said before in another episode where we were talking, and I was like, the same attitude that's going to get you one thing that you may not like is going to get you another thing that's really good.
Yeah.
So shout out to Joe. Fantastic Joe. This is all just studying. As I'm listening to this stuff, I'm like studying.
Studying?
I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking of the AI. And he's like, man, what if the AI is just like studying everything?
Oh,
like,
true.
Joe, there is an AI studying you right now. It's a human AI studying
A human
you.
AI.
Studying everything you do, everything you say. How interesting would that be? If that happens to me one day, I'm going to be over the moon. I wouldn't fight it at all. I'd be like, Joe, it's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
Let this person come who wants to replace me. Fantastic. Who is this person? Come sit with me. But yeah, let's get into Project Bluebeam.
Yeah. Have you heard of Project Bluebeam before?
I have heard of it. When you're speaking about things like this, it's always something that's brought up, but I have never had anybody go into detail about it. So it was on our list when we had a big
the
tier
big
list.
conspiracy tier.
Yeah, we had a big tier list that we wanted to do, and that was one of the things definitely that came up. And it was rather deep, but I do think it is something that should be considered.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing about it at all. So when I was looking it up, it was actually kind of difficult. It didn't want to give me a lot of info on it because it's a book. So it was
really?
written by a guy named Serge Monast, who is a French Canadian from Quebec. And he came up with this theory in 1994.
Really?
Yeah. So the book is called Project Bluebeam, in parentheses NASA. So basically, I'll go into the details in a bit, but basically his claim is that NASA, with the help of the United Nations, was attempting to implement a new age religion and kind of make a new world order.
Wait, who was attempting? NASA?
NASA
Okay.
and the UN.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Via a technologically simulated, basically holographic images in the sky to kind of connect all people and then reinforce the new world order under one government.
Who was president at that time?
I have no idea. 1994?
Because I remember
Was
seeing a video. It's hard to
Was
find
it
now.
Bush?
Oh, if it was Bush, that makes a lot of sense. There was a video of him one time, and he was like, "There's gonna be a new world order, and when we're successful," and he looks right at the screen. He's like, "And we will be." And I was like, "Wow." I was like, "He's really that guy."
Huh.
I was like, "Geez."
That's Clinton.
Okay. Phew. Just playing saxophone. Kind of. And doing some other things as well.
I was going to say.
1994 Crime Bill came out back then. Also, I have Rachel on the screen right now. I know. She's like, ooh. I know. Why do I have Rachel on the screen? But it's because she actually has a clip of Reagan, was it? 1987,
Yeah.
Reagan. So this is like exhibit 1 towards this whole theory. I mean, it was brought up by a president here.
And he said it at the United Nations.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Ronald Reagan wishing an alien invasion on Earth.
He's not wishing it.
Interesting.
But it is something he's saying.
Yeah.
And that's the basis of Project Bluebeam,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And Rachel's about to tear it down like, that's not true, guys. Which makes me feel like it is true.
Right?
As soon as Rachel's saying it's not true, I think
It's like, what is that? Thou dost protest too much?
Exactly. But yeah, I guess you'll go on. And most of these videos are silent anyway. I just want to show you the technology because in 1994 this made no sense and it was silly.
Yeah.
But now it's a different world.
Yeah, like if we're going on with aliens, part of the Project Bluebeam theory is that they could stage a fake alien invasion by using holographs.
Yeah.
And then it would cause disarray and fear and confusion, and like Reagan said, kind of unite us all.
Of course. 100%.
Yeah. And like the things they can do these days.
Well, yeah, that's why I was just going to play it. Like all these have to be silent anyway because they have music and stuff.
Yeah.
But just where technology's going.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like when I first saw this, right, I was like, they're going to be able to fool some Christian people.
Yeah.
Like all it takes, there's going to be some Christian people who are waiting for this, waiting for signs of this. And if you got it to a certain ability, a certain realism, and then all of a sudden brought a second coming,
Yeah.
they would be like, that's it.
And that's
I believe it. I've been waiting for it.
Yeah, that's part of the other theory of Project Bluebeam as well, specifically. That agencies will project images of religious deities into the sky.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. Look at this one.
Yeah. I
So-
want to see one of these in person too.
Oh, yeah, to see like how crazy it actually is.
Yeah.
But like, just think of this. Like, you imagine showing this to somebody who's like 1800s. They're like, I just saw God.
Yeah, they would believe it.
And
for sure.
end of story.
Yeah.
So think about where this technology could go and then how we'd be. Like right now, to us, we're like, hologram.
Yeah.
But like, give it a few years. Give it a few, 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Like, look at everybody
or when
right
they
now.
can combine it with like deep fakes.
Exactly. Like, look at everybody. As that thing, everybody has their hands in the air towards it. It's almost like they're worshiping it.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting where this stuff can go.
Have you ever been to one of those movie theaters? Usually they have them at like theme parks where it's like interactive. So they like spray you with stuff. They rumble your chairs. I remember going to one when I was pretty little. I want to say like somewhere between like 6 and 12. Because I remember going to this theme park between those years.
I was eating corned beef and rice when I was 6.
Yeah.
So I didn't go to any interactive movie theater.
But I remember there was something like reaching out of the screen. And I thought it was so real.
Of course.
That I reached out too to see if I could touch it.
Wow.
And I touched the lady's hair in front of me.
But like, just like even this one that I have here, right? Like this gets into like the deity realm. It's like this fairy almost.
Oh yeah.
Type
And
of
even like
being.
all that extra kind of mist and things going around it. It's very
exactly.
ethereal.
You do this to some, there's some people who will just be like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been good for so long.
Yeah. Especially if like you saw this, like most people know this is like a marketing thing right now. But imagine you were like camping.
Yeah.
And you saw something in the sky.
Exactly.
Like they could stage it in such a way
Exactly.
that it would be so unexpected.
It'd be wild.
Like if you could like combine this with like the Northern Lights or something and then have something come down from it.
Yeah, exactly. And then just picture, going anywhere, going to a slum in like India
Yeah.
where there's like, because it's such a high population of people, there's like 10 million people. And you just show this. They'd all be like, that's what we saw. We all saw it.
Yeah.
All of us saw it. This was
So
real.
crazy.
It was very real. Oh, this was the one I actually wanted to show you. This one was very interesting because this is a guy, clearly a hologram, very, very clear. This is a very, very clear one. But the kick about this one is that gentleman is just right over there.
Oh.
So he's actually being filmed. But
Wow.
he's being projected as a hologram right away. So now it takes a
That's
step further.
crazy.
Where it's not just like you're showing some generated thing. It could be a person who has the deep fake, like you said.
Yeah.
And now they're moving around. They're talking. They're instructing.
Wow.
It goes a little deeper, you know?
Part of the other Project Bluebeam things, one of them is telepathic electronic two-way communication. So it's saying that with low frequency radio waves, they can communicate directly with each person's mind, making each person believe that the deity being projected is speaking directly to that person.
Jeez. That's another level too.
Yeah, right? And with all like their
brain.
info they have about us,
Of course.
like you could make it seem like mediums do and people like that.
yeah.
Like fake fortune tellers when they just like find you online.
Oh yeah. I've had guys like that.
Yeah. And they could like tell you, I don't know, that your mom wishes you well.
Yeah, yeah. I had a guy like that. He came up to me and he's like, "Take this." It was like some Indian guy, and he's like, and he started trying to tell me about things, and he's like, your left foot hurts. He's like, you got to take it easy on this. And I was like, and he got me for like a good like 4 minutes because I was like, my left foot does hurt.
It does hurt.
My left leg does hurt.
Yeah.
He almost had me.
But he
Yeah.
might have seen you like down the block, like
Who knows?
reach over,
I
maybe
don't
adjust
know.
your shoe.
I don't know. I was at the time when I was doing Uber Eats. It was like a year or two ago, and I was like, how does he know? I'm like, my leg does hurt.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
very smart, but
Yeah.
you can do a lot of stuff with that.
Like this one. Like again, this goes into the deity realm, right?
Yeah.
Like see this not at a building, not in a square.
Yeah. That's
And
incredible.
you'd be like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
You saw that like above you in the ocean?
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh my God.
Or if you just like walked outside your house, like you're trying to get in your car and then all of a sudden that thing's there.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
You'd be like, what is going on?
And it's like massive.
Yeah, and you just take it away from like this weird thing and you just make it into something that we've all accepted as being something that was myth that existed once.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people because not only, and I'm not saying this like people are dumb. There's so many people that are longing for stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
They want something like this. They want something to come through. So many people. I talked about this before when I was talking about how we're not like insignificant as they tell us. So many people want to feel like what else is there?
Yeah.
Like I've been working. So many people have the story of I've been working since I was 15. I'm 35 now. All I've done is work.
Yeah.
I've worked maybe 3 jobs. They never treat me properly. They never pay me enough. I always have these bills. I never have enough. Like, when does this stop?
Yeah.
When does this
true.
stop happening? And then all of a sudden you get confronted with something like this and you're going to be like, okay,
Yeah.
all right. I don't know. This was the one you liked a lot.
Yeah. This one, it was like the most crazy to me because there's nothing like behind it.
Exactly. There's nothing around. Like, how are you seeing this? Just whales just in the sky.
Yeah. And with the sound on this one, it's like loud whale noises
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff too.
You can actually hear whale noises. You can hear the helicopter, which the helicopter is not real either, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
That's not a real helicopter.
Is that building even real?
No, that thing that's draped, no, that's not there.
The building totally isn't real. The draped thing.
No.
It's huge. Like, how do they do that?
Yeah. That's right.
I thought maybe, I don't know, the building was real and they were projecting like the drape onto it.
That could be a possibility as well, but I can
But
tell
either
you,
way, that's a massive projection.
yeah, I can tell you that draping is not real.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't really put drapes on a building.
Yeah.
How
of
big
course
would that
not.
have to be?
I mean, unless you're in Dubai and like some sultan wants it to be night. He's like, I just want it night now.
Yeah.
In the next 5 minutes. This was another one that really tripped me out. But yeah, you can continue to talk. What else do you got on this?
There's just a couple other like parts of it. So there's another one that says just massive mind control. So this theory claims that governments or other organizations intend to use electromagnetic radiation, computers, televisions, and other electronic devices to control people's thoughts and feelings.
Well, I mean, you know,
They kind of are already.
yeah, like you don't really have to get all like you know, like phaser ray laser type.
no.
Like you can do that through a television, through an algorithm.
Yep.
You can do all of those things right now, and you know, they do in the sense of showing us what we want to see, what we keep asking to see, and then we've done episodes on Facebook how they do show stuff that is more enticing to your negative side.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's interesting. But
Yeah.
again, you see this out of nowhere.
That's crazy.
Just no box. Just a big hand comes out. And then pair it with this. Big hand comes out and car gets smacked and smashed.
Oh,
You'd be like,
smart.
There's no way it's not real.
Yeah.
Something real just happened. You'd be like, wait a second.
That's crazy.
Right? Then you throw in some injury. Ooh. This one really got me because this is Kobe Bryant. Here, watch this, guys. It's Kobe Bryant.
What's up, everyone? What's up, Ernie? It's a pleasure to be here. Los Angeles. Wow. Congrats on welcoming 50 million visitors. This right here is a championship moment. And that's because this city is always innovating. I mean, check me out. I'm a hologram. Only in LA can I be in two places at the same time. And there's no other place that inspires me more. Home of the best creative minds and storytellers in the world. We got All-Star games, the Super Bowl, the World Cup, and the 2028 Olympics.
So that one's a trip.
I wonder if his wife okayed that. 'Cause that doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, well, I mean, if his wife okayed it, if they said fine, if it was something he signed off on before he passed,
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows? Because, you know, we all know with Bruce Willis, if you don't know, Bruce Willis has dementia, and his family has signed him up to be in movies. So even though he can't be in movies because of what's going on with his mind, and not even his body, he's in great shape still for someone who's like in his 60s.
Yeah.
But he has this early onset dementia, and now he's going to be in movies. So pretty much any movie you've seen him in for the past maybe maybe even longer, but I would say 2 years until now is not him. It's AI. It's basically, I think it's a person.
Like in a green suit,
Yeah, and then they just, I think.
green mask.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's crazy.
So there's going to be a lot of that in the future.
Yeah. Well, they say Project Bluebeam, all of those steps are towards a new world order, and basically is meant to like have the population more easily controlled and manipulated.
Nobody would be able to say no. No country would be able to say no, because it'd be like, wait, so we have this against us, and you're not on board?
Yeah.
Everybody has to be on board.
Yeah.
We have this. You see it in the sky, right? That's real. You saw what you did, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has to be on board. And
especially when they like combine things like the mass mind control of
everything.
using like computers and stuff with
Everything, yeah.
the aliens and the holograms. It's just a lot.
This was actually at a game award, or
Yeah.
the Game Awards. So just imagine seeing that.
Yeah, we saw this one on Instagram, and I was like, what?
You see that, and then you don't even give it the weird mask and face and everything. You just give it a real face, or you give it a heavenly, angelic person floating through. And again, to us, that's like, what? But find an uncontacted tribe and like
Oh my
flash that at them. That would be recorded in their history forever.
I think that's their new god.
Oh yeah, they'd be like, oh, we angered somebody. Mm-hmm. We did something that we shouldn't have done. Right? It's getting wild. getting wild with what
Yeah,
they're
it's
able to do.
crazy.
Very, very wild. Interesting stuff. So I only show all that technology. Oh, yeah, let me show that. Look at that. And then all of a sudden this guy floats in and he's looking at everybody.
It's incredible.
You know, you're at the game show, so you know that this is not real, obviously. But, you know, give it 4 more years where you can get it realistic.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's not cartoony anymore.
Mm-hmm. Like, not whatsoever. It looks like a real person.
Yeah, or a real thing.
Yeah. It's going to get iffy. It's going to get iffy for people. It's going to get tough. It's going to get tough to differentiate things. So what do you think about all this?
I'm concerned.
I definitely think I think in 1994, it was silly because what technology did they have to do that?
Not a lot.
They didn't have
Holograms were like sci-fi.
Yeah, holograms was like Star Wars, Princess
Yes.
Leia from R2-D2 or whatever.
Yeah.
That was like the closest thing. And even that back then was like
Yeah, it was
that
cool.
blow people's minds.
But it was like grainy and everything else.
Of course.
It was like a
Because-
bad phone call.
Yeah, exactly, because that's what they thought it would be like.
Yeah.
That was their depiction. They're like, how good is it possibly
Yeah.
going to get? We're only 1,000 years in the future here, guys. Right? But now, all of a sudden, you could really do some stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can
You
really
can trick
do.
a lot of people.
So
I think even now you'd be able to trick a lot of people.
I go back to the religion because one thing, and I was talking about this on another episode, and it helps in religion. It helps a lot. It's helped us in our lives that when it comes to a religious belief, you have to have faith over logic.
Yes.
So when you look at certain things in your life that aren't going as you've planned, you have to have faith that these circumstances are going to change. And that's a good thing. That's a good mindset to have. It helps. It helps a lot. And like we've seen that in our lives and we've seen it change. We've seen it change and get to the thing that we were working towards, and it feels amazing, you know? So there's going to be some people who have that right now, and then all of a sudden they see something in the sky, and it's going to be like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not listening to you. Like, I'm not going to listen to the person who's saying no. I'm not listening to you. It's right there. Done.
Yeah.
I don't have to listen to any of you anymore. He's here, you know? Ugh. But Jewish people will be like, no, we didn't believe in him to begin with.
Oh my God.
Right? They're like, he was never Messiah. They're like, I don't know what this is. That's how Jewish people are like, I don't know what this is supposed to be, but he's not Messiah. This is
That's so
obviously
funny.
not. They won't fall for it. And Buddhists will be like, whatever. I've seen things like this in my mind.
Yeah, true.
In meditation. But Duncan Trussell, just to end it off in Rogan, he is right about this being like a meteor heading for Earth that we're all kind of okay with.
Yeah, we all kind of know it's going to hit.
Yeah, we all know it's hitting, and we don't know when, and we don't know what the impact's going to be, and we're all fine.
We're just, yeah.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is that we're the ones making it.
That's the thing, right? That's where it's a meteor to us, and other people are the slingshot.
Yeah.
That's
It's like goes back to his inevitability theory.
yeah.
Like it's not inevitable if we don't make it.
Yeah, if we stop. But who's going to stop? You know?
No, they won't.
Like what? Like those people.
They have massive companies for this.
Yeah, exactly. So that's always the thing, right? Meteor. And then also the Sam Altman, they're like, oh, the nice people controlling it. Not that Sam Altman seems like a cool guy from the podcast that I saw and other interviews I've watched. But he doesn't seem, like you said, like he doesn't seem like he has a lot of emotion.
Yeah, I don't think he's more the kind who is valuing progress over the good of humanity.
Yeah. Definitely. Even Elon Musk, who's somebody who's very against it, when you see him talk in interviews, you're like, it doesn't seem like he has a lot of it. Like, yeah, he laughs with his weird laugh. He's like, his weird laugh that comes out of nowhere. But he doesn't seem like he has a lot of emotion,
No.
you know?
They're very calculated people who are running all of this.
Yeah, very. And again, like we brought up before, they have the ability to just fly above the earth for a while.
Yeah.
They really want to. Then what else do I have here? Oh, plastic. Rogan's
Oh,
like,
he was
wouldn't it
talking
get,
about microplastics.
wouldn't it just get us hooked on plastic? Didn't we have plastic way before AI? Didn't we have plastic before computers?
We're already hooked on plastic.
Wasn't it plastic around before computers?
Yeah.
I feel like it was.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. What's he talking about?
Because we made computers out of plastic.
True. True. Yeah. So like, I don't understand that theory. But again, this is the snowball conversation. They're just kind of going at it. you
Yeah.
know? It's just a snowball that they work up a hill and then down the hill. Mm-hmm. And it's a good way to talk in ways. Until people like us come around. Then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it
And we're like,
falls
what do you
apart.
mean?
Yeah. And then, oh yeah, they are the ones doing it. He's like, why they just make a better Oreo, or it's the food you're eating, the plastic. He's almost like kind of putting it on people. He's talking about that person who talks about these theories of control and blah blah blah, but you're drinking out of a plastic bottle. But it's like, that person didn't make the bottle. They didn't go home and make the bottle and say, this is the best thing that I drink out of. I drink out of plastic.
Yeah.
They're not made, like, it's the people, like if you're talking about depopulation or whatever, those people are the same people making the bottles, making the food, like all of it, And he kind of has this view as if it's us,
Yeah.
Goes back to that we thing. Like when Joe talks about we make technology, it's like, no, we don't. Like a bunch of people do, but it's not us,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the only reason we have effect over it is with what we purchase.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. And it's gonna be fun. So tonight we're gonna read some more of the book.
Yep. Some more 1984, George Orwell.
If you've listened to this point, because we're wrapping up here, right? You got more?
Nope.
We're wrapping up here. If you've listened to this point, I was talking to her, and I was like, we should read a little bit of 1984 every episode. We should find like an interesting part, or anytime we come across a very interesting part that's very relatable to the world, we should read it. Let me know what you think of that in the comments. I think we should. That's what I think. I want to start doing that, and I want to start reading people's comments.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people
Those
throw
are
out
funny.
a lot of interesting theories my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. One was Kevin Spacey is a clone of a scientist. And the scientist actually works at the collider.
CERN?
Yeah. He's like one of the head guys. He said it's like Kroger,
Okay, we'll have to look into it.
right? It's amazing. I love that. As soon as he wrote it, I just wrote, "Oh, I like this. Tell me more. Tell me more about this, please." I love it. Maybe we'll do an episode on it. You never know. You never know. But anyway, what else you got?
That's it.
Share the episode, guys. We need you to share. Imagine I go like this. My hand actually came out of the screen just now. Could you imagine? It just touched you.
Yeah.
Just went like that.
Stroked your face gently.
I'm very gentle. You guys have seen my claps, right? I'm very gentle. But share the episode. It helps so much. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And other than that, we are out.
Bye.
Bye.